Well, another flu season has arrived, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention predicts this could be a really rough season. The CDC says this year's flu vaccine is not as effective because the current strain of the virus has mutated. Dr. Kamau Kokayi is an internist, and he joins us to discuss this year's flu shot and what you can do to prevent the flu, and maybe even what you can do when you get it. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, so good to see you.
Yes,
welcome back. We've been reading in the news that this year's flu vaccine is even less effective than previous years. Explain why that is.
Well, they actually try to match the strains that they think are going to occur, that are going to be present. They try to match the vaccine to that. But this year they didn't have too much luck in doing that. And you know, if you go to the CDC website, they actually tell you that the effectiveness depends not only on matching it, but also the health of people. So now that we know that this year the vaccine is less than 50% effective, people really have to look at other measures, right? And in particular, there are a number of things that are not on the CDC website, but for instance, vitamin D3. There are any number of studies that show the importance of vitamin D3 in fostering something called innate immunity. Vitamin D3 actually allows your body to produce practically its own antimicrobial substances on the skin that help you make you more resistant. Now, the benefit of taking nutrients like vitamin D3, also vitamin C has been quite controversial, but you can't just look at one nutrient as separate, you know, and just study it. You have to look at these things together. And when you do that, it's a tremendous impact in terms of reducing the risk for flu. And so it's not just, you know, hand washing and all of that, but there are actually things that you can do and take that will make a difference.
Let me ask you a question about the vitamin D3. Does it matter whether or not you take it as a supplement or you take it in foods where it naturally occurs?
It's the best is sunlight, which it's best is sunlight. But again, of course, foods are good, but we're talking about fatty fish like salmon and mackerel. We're talking about cheese, but most people, and I'm telling you as a practicing physician, 80% of folks that come in my office, and particularly anyone that's melanated, because that actually blocks the production of vitamin D3 in the skin.
And let's help our viewers. Melanated means brown folk.
Brown folk, right. That blocks the production of vitamin D3. So it's really important, and I find that people have to take at least 3,000 international units.
Oh, wow.
Right, so that's more than what's commonly, you know, commonly shared. And it's interesting, I had a patient who was a physician the other day, and she said, you know, I actually got the flu from one of my patients. And she said, I didn't want to take Tamiflu because I wanted to see what else I could do. So she actually told me something that I do, which is to take vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams every hour until your stomach is a little queasy or you have diarrhea. And she said within 24 hours, she was back at work.
Wow.
Right.
Very interesting.
Right.
Now, Dr. Kokayi, I want to make sure I understand this. Are you recommending to people to take the increased levels of vitamin D3 in lieu of a flu shot?
To be frank, I do.
Really?
To be frank, I don't generally recommend injecting foreign substances in the body where that's possible. I think building up the body's own immunity, and if you look at even other medical systems, the most effective system for treating pandemics and influenza is actually homeopathy. Homeopathy, if you go back and you look at the track record since the 1800s, it's in comparison to allopathic or modern medicine, there is no comparison in terms of effectiveness. Right.
Very, very interesting. You heard it right here from Dr. Kokayi. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Good to talk to you.
Right.
And you're watching Arise America.